It's always a gap between what do you need versus what do you want in every business. And if you have an ability to help them clarify their need, I think you are one step ahead in the sales process. So breaking away from that, your own self nature, that let's not be comfortable, be uncomfortable, is the recipe for growth.
Nice guys don't scale their businesses. you need to be willing to be ruthless as a founder to really get to scale. Do you agree with that?
We could have been $1 billion company by now. We could have been a $500 million company by now. If
Rajesh, welcome to the Founder Thesis podcast. You have founded and run Fulcrum Digital in addition to a couple of other subsidiaries. And this is an entirely bootstrapped venture. Phenomenal story. Can you start with helping me understand the scale and scope of all the business ventures that you're running today?
Yeah, Akshay, thank you for having me at your show. It has been a great journey. I call it a marathon journey. We built two companies, Fulcrum Digital, which just stands as a global company with 1,500 employees, having 5 business parts with large logos with $20-30 billion customers in our portfolio. And all these employees are based in the US, UK, Europe, Latin America, and India. So building a global delivery model while creating a value for customers locally in the market has been a phenomenal journey for us. And the second company we started, Culinary Digital, by which we are touching about 3 million lives of patients and students across the globe using our SaaS software in commercial kitchen management. So we'll talk a little bit about it. But these are the two companies. We have built a global company. We are headquartered in the US. And
what's
that's
the combined ARR for both the businesses?
We are, the way we are measuring is number of lives we are transforming right now. So we are transforming 3 million lives. So, that real ARR, we are not offering it on the
but just
show.
Broad, like say, are you in the $10 to $50 million range or $50 to $100 million range? Very
yeah.
broad.
So we are in the trending between $10 to $20 million ARR business, and
combined
our
for
hope is that
the two. Okay.
Yeah. No, this is just a Culinary Digital. Fulcrum Digital is approaching to be $80 to $100 million company.
Wow, amazing. So, and this is all bootstrapped. You have not raised any VC funding. So you are today at roughly $100 million ARR combined kind of a business with no VC money, no external funding.
Correct. Yeah.
Amazing.
If you want to put together
I want to,
the business model.
Okay, so that's what I want to learn from you on how to hit this kind of scale with no external funding. So can you take me through your journey? I believe this is version 5. So just take me through what was version 1, version 2, version 3, and along the way, if there are lessons for other builders based on your own journeys.
Yeah, sure. When we started, those were the eras of Y2K, where the people believed in making a quick money, getting into Y2K, and we believed in creating a next generation value-oriented company. So those days,
who were you at that time? Like, were you a software developer? Were you already an entrepreneur? Were you a management consultant?
Yeah. So I worked in Mumbai as a software sales consultant. So I was a software salesperson selling Informix. Later on, we were selling Computer Associates product. Then I got into selling software outsourcing projects, worked with companies like L&T, Larsen and Toubro, then came to the US, worked for a small firm, Acura. I was their salesperson. And that's when I got the business idea, the client connects. And I felt confident at that time that I'm ready to kickstart the business. Once the inner voice comes in and conviction is there, you believe in it and you jump in like any other entrepreneur, right? So I have a strong conviction. I've seen the India side, I have seen the US side, seen the variety of customers in the US, and that gave us clarity and confidence that there is enough market for value creation.
And how much capital did you start with? You probably used your savings to start, or
Yeah, it was few $1,000s. We had a savings, so we put those savings in the beginning. You need to have office space. You need to create your own finance department, HR department, few employees on your payroll. And then the first year, we had to recruit about 11 people. You have to first find a first project to fund it. When you are bootstrapping it, your funding sources are your customers. So you must have an ability to get one or two customers. Many entrepreneurs think that getting just one customer is like building a business. To me, that was not the recipe. It was like, do you have a recipe of building multiple customers, one after another? As long as engine is not there, we will not have a funding, right? So that was the recipe for our bootstrapping funding approach. So
what was your first deal? Do you remember? First customer
it
you
was
converted?
a large insurance company. They wanted 11 people team to build one of the portal technology, because those days we were into Web 1.0 and we needed to build a Web 1.0 applications on portal. So we had to staff 11 people to build that. And recruiting those 11 people required funding, because by the time you get the customer's money, you have 90 days of cash flow planning to do, right? So you have to use your funding, plan your cash flow, minimize your expenses. That's the bootstrapping approach, right? And as you are on the journey of delivering one customer, you have a pipelining approach, right? You have to throw seeds in building another 20 prospects, qualify them. And as this project is maturing, you have two more new clients rolling out, So that's the cycle we got into, and we became successful, right? And the culture of continuously building, marketing, sales, nurturing prospects, funneling, those were my DNA anyways, So that helped me not lose my sight on how to build the sales engine. And that was the funding source, right? And then comes the execution. That's when you rely on hiring right people with the right skills. I'm not good into managing the project, delivering it. So you need to recruit the right people to complement your skills, right? In the end, when you start as an entrepreneur, you are the CEO and you are the janitor. You do everything. But as you scale your business, you got to bring what you are not good at and what your company structure needs. So that's when I got my project manager. I had a finance person, HR person supporting me. And then
and
the
these are all
business starts
India
to
based.
shape up.
Like your delivery was happening out of India.
In the beginning, it was all in the US. So we started in the US, and the first team structure we created in the US. And then later on, when we started to build multiple clients, then those customers started asking more team members from India. And also one of the very large insurance company project we were doing, and they wanted to start a center in India. So one of our employee was leading that initiative. So because of that, we came down to India, and they were willing to start their center in India, and that helped us kickstart our base in India to expand our presence.
Okay, got it. Did you stay focused on one sector? Like your first client was insurance, and you probably had multiple insurance clients. Has that been the focus area, or from in terms of how you position the business, do you position it as a specialist in one sector, or what is it positioned as?
If I have to go and start now, I would do that. But that time I didn't do it. I was a young guy. I was 28 years old. whosoever is willing to give me the money, size didn't matter. Um, any customer I will welcome, right? Even small customers, large customers, wherever my contacts were, I'm going all over, right? Certainly the interest was large company. In fact, one of the big bank, when they were negotiating their contracts department with me, and they asked me what's the proposal value and cost structure, and I had certain dollar value, very conservative figure in my mind, and I didn't get that number. I just asked that person, you tell me and I'll make the business work for you. And she gave me the number, which was double than what I would have even imagined to ask.
Yeah.
So sometimes your funding happens, and I got lucked out. And just imagine like 6-7 people team, double the money what I was even thinking, a young guy. And I was almost at the verge of saying this number, and just I hold it and I said, don't worry, I'll work with your budget. And she turned out to be a very big bank. So sometimes big bank, and then I worked on the other side, a small travel portal company who was very, very tight in paying the money. So even you ask some money, they will not offer you. So I had to deal with both sizes of the company who can pay me double the money, more than my expectation, and the company who is not willing to even pay what is needed for the project. So you have to deal with both, and you can't say no at this stage. But today we say no to many businesses. We have a very focused approach, and but that was not the case when we started.
So for someone who's starting out today, what would you advise him in terms of, should you be picky and choose clients, and how do you judge which client to choose?
Yes, if I have to go and start on my own today, or any entrepreneur, I will say that I have made many mistakes. And one of the mistakes is, I try to do too many things, try to scale all sides of the clients, and that's not the recipe to grow big faster, right? It takes a slower pace. So if you stay focused, you define your customer base and stay in your lane, you will grow bigger and smarter and stronger. And that's the correct way to grow. If you are into manufacturing or finance or insurance, or you have certain domain of products, stay in that product. The market has a lot of noise and adjacency excitement. And the good entrepreneurs who do not get excited, stay on that course, are having the recipe of hockey stick growth.
Okay. How do you judge who's a good customer? Because at times as entrepreneurs, you actually need to fire your customers. So how do you judge who's a good customer, who's a customer you should look at firing?
Yeah. So before you go on to judging customer or judging yourself, the first you need to judge the situation and opportunity. Opportunity is the biggest customer, not the customer who is giving you the opportunity. So once you qualify the opportunity, you need to know whether you are capable to deliver on that promise, and your promise matches with that opportunity. So that is the winning formula. Then the second layer comes in, who is the owner of that opportunity? Then comes the customer. But once you have handle on who the opportunity is, you need to also understand the financial backing of that opportunity. If the financial sources are more secure, more robust, then you are comfortable to do business. Then who is on the seat is the third question, right? Because the person who is on the seat might change, company may not change, right? So then you evaluate that, and the only way you evaluate is by asking the right questions, getting the right answers, going deeper and deeper. Don't be shy in asking questions, because more you ask, better you are. You're clear about the business problem,
and then what you can position overlooked questions, like questions someone who's starting off may not think of asking. Non-intuitive.
Yeah, question is about the common vision of the project, because everybody wants to be an order taker. They tell you this is what I want, but the first question is, what do you need? It's always a gap between what do you need versus what do you want in every business. Every customer who is buying is trying to define what he wants. I want this, I want that, I want this way. He has a big demand. But if you go into the core opportunity and issue what he's facing, a smart service provider or smart vendor who has a product will very clearly ask right question. Actually, your need is something else, but you're asking me 20 different things. Why you want to spend so much of money asking 10 things where your problem is this? And if you have an ability to help them clarify their need, I think you are one step ahead in the sales process and you can close the deal faster. And that's when successful entrepreneurs scale in the business.
Fascinating. Like a need analysis is actually the starting point of sales in a way. Like that's how
I
you
would
should.
say that. Yeah, in the beginning, I didn't know, but after 30 years of running two great companies, global companies with 1,500 employees, I think I have made enough mistakes to share these expertise now with the audience.
Right. So, how did it go for the first couple of years? By when did you reach like a respectable, let's say, $1 million plus kind of a revenue number?
It took us a year and a half to 2 years when we crossed about $1 million revenue. And I think we had an office in Fanwood, a small town in New Jersey, with 5-room suite with a open area where developers were sitting in. And when I saw that I have all the right people on the seats, I had a HR person, I had a dedicated finance person, a delivery person. I could see that now company has a clear vision. I have a right structure in place. I have the right people sitting in the right seats, and I'm able to build a good cadence, weekly meeting, Monday planning meeting. It company started to shape up as an organized company to run it. So it takes about 18 months to 2 years before you see all these things shaping up.
Okay. And till when does version 1 of the business continue? You said you've gone through like 4 versions. This is the 5th version. So
yeah, so I would call every 5 years as different versions, right? 1.0 was when we were building a company with web technology. Everybody those days wanted to become a internet company, ASP, web technology. Then the version 2 came in. Everybody wanted to become social, mobile, portal, analytics, cloud. Then version 3 came in where the cloud matured and everything started to go on a cloud and platform thinking. And now later on, the platform became into low code, no code, domain centric platforms. So you got to mature in cloud and domain centric. And then finally, today is the intelligence economy. So today's version is all about intelligence. I call it intelligence amplification economy. The book which I wrote about 6 years back is all about digital operating model because everybody wanted to mature in digital journey. In that book, I have written about that after intelligence economy, it's going to be experience economy. It's going to be purpose-driven economy. So all these things are different eras are going to come in future. But right now, let's live the intelligence and AI economy, which is driving everything around us. Yeah. So that has been the journey for Fulcrum.
Okay. Like from an organizational perspective, what were the major milestones? Like, did you narrow down the focus or was it like across multiple domains? And what kind of maturity stages the organization must have gone through as well, certain important milestones? Just take me through those.
Yeah, great question. So I would say the 2 parts of our organization. So first decade, we were like a technology service provider. So we were selling technologies like Portal, Vignette, Liferay, IBM WebSphere, SharePoint, Portal, Enterprise Service Bus, Enterprise Architecture Assessment. So being a technology and driven company, later on, we started to structure the company on a domain-centric, business-centric. So we focused on finance and payment domain, insurance, on property casualty and life insurance, then manufacturing, retail logistics, higher education, healthcare, high tech. So that's how our domain started to evolve. And that happened because we had a consultative approach to look at every business problem. Because when we go to a client, our lens of looking at the problem was from doctor's angle. We were not just selling the drugs to them. We were just looking at problem definitions, asking the right questions, diagnosing the right problems. And if you have industry domain knowledge, you are able to do the diagnosis better. So we changed our company direction based on domain approach, and that helped us. That was one of the reason we launched our second company, Culinary Digital, because when we went to one of the food company, we looked at it as a doctor's angle and said that you don't need to buy big ERP product, you need to build a product. It will help you scale your growth and the business. And that's how Culinary Digital shaped up. And we launched the Culinary Suite product, which is the SaaS software ARR based running business, for us. I'm very, very happy that that was another significant milestone which happened. Another milestone is in 2012, 11, 12, we built our own campus in Hinjawadi. That's a great milestone. We started building multiple platforms we started to build. So we were innovators. So we built supply day product for supply chain industry, Kaleidoscope for higher education industry. Later on, we built Fulcrum 1, which is a low-code, no-code development. And very recently, in last 3 years, we have built FT Rise AI platform. So because we have been platform development, product development company along with the software services business, so these accelerators have been the value creator for our customers, right? So as you are in the journey of growing your business, you got to be differentiating yourself in the market, and differentiation came through this maturity of those products. So whenever we launch the product, that has been great milestones. There were other sub milestones, like we expanded in Europe. We had office in near Manchester in Huddersfield, came close to London. I think being in London gave us exposure to bigger market. We opened up office in Finland, and that also gave us a new dimension of growth for us. Also going into 2014 in Brazil and Argentina was another significant milestone. So now we could lure local software development team from those markets. So that's significant development. And other milestones are like we started to launch our own tech exchange and Tandem. So Tandem has been our annual event, which we do every year. So that creates a yearly milestone, but 10 years, 15 years, 20 years has been the significant year. Tech Exchange is the big event which we host in New York City. We invite 200 to 300 CIOs. So that's a very big milestone. Now we have built our own brand. So we are able to attract partners to demonstrate their product, and multiple industry leaders to come and speak at our platform. So that's a larger platform we have created now.
Okay, fascinating. I'm going to zoom into some of these. Let's start with the core business, which is as a technology services is what you are selling. So this is the same business which, like, say, an Infosys or a Wipro would be in. They would be your larger competitors.
Correct. Because landscape and ecosystem is so big, you have large players like India-based offshore company, and you also have a local company in the US and Europe who are consulting and outsourcing company. They are also our competition, but the real competition is with the mid-tier companies in this space who are a strong value creator with a local time zone delivery model along with a global model, right? So if a mid-sized company has a Latin America, India delivery center, has built a product, has a consultative approach of building an assessment method, studio angle, not every mid-sized company has a model like that, right? So then the market starts to narrow down. And in that space, you will find only 4 or 5 good players with whom we will end up competing with, right? And end of the day, some of them gets acquired, merged. So the market again shrink, and then the new players emerge, right? So while it sounds like a very big market, in reality for us, the market becomes narrower, and you got to play your game in that, because everybody plays soccer, whether you play a soccer 8x8 field or 4x4 field.
I'm not clear why an Infosys is not someone that you see as a direct competitor, because if you're bidding for a project, you're saying that some of those projects might not be big enough for them. therefore you don't see them as a competitor? Because the things you spoke about, like accelerator, time zone delivery, I'm sure an Infosys would have the ability and the intellectual property in-house to compete with you on those things. So is it the ticket size that you operate in a ticket size which they don't operate in?
Yeah. So remember, I told you in the beginning, everything is derived by opportunity, right? So size of opportunities. So if we are attacking, and there are two types of opportunity from the same customers, which Infosys is attacking and we are attacking. Say, let's pick $20 billion company. So that $20 billion company has a ticket of hiring 2,000 employee in BPO and IT application support services. I think Infosys is a better suitable partner for that company to do 2,000 people. We are 1,500 people, so we can't build 2,000 people capacity for them. We will get disqualified. So there's no point competing with them when a client is looking for 2,000 people. However, if the same customer is building a digital technology, a digital platform, which requires only 100 people, 300 people, 200 people with innovative platform, with a better consultative approach, with a deeper domain knowledge, I think we can give run for money to many large companies, right? Because that's the area we are very good at. We have gone deeper. We have studio approach, AI approach, agility, speed, culture, and customers can sense those things better from us than larger company. And that's where we score, and we do compete with them on those space. But that market share is different. They do compete with us on those space, but for them might be a smaller market share, where their larger market share is all this 30-40 billion dollar deal size with large scale people. That's how, model could be slightly different. But we do compete with them. But there are many other players in mid-size who are eyeing for our line of the business, our size of the pie of the business, and we compete head on with those kind of players more frequently than Infosys of the world.
Understood. So essentially, it's about showing specialization, which is why it's important to go after clients in a specific lane and stick to your lane, because then those clients are gonna see you more favorably than an IT giant like Infosys, because you are specialized in that domain. So you would understand and bring more cross-industry knowledge and stuff like that. Okay.
And you have a story, winning story in those large accounts. So you can replicate that, and large companies buy those stories. They feel that we're looking for a smaller company and better value creator. And I think you fit in those bills better than some of the large company. And, we're looking for that kind of partner. So there are some large companies looking for a value partner like us, and there is a big market for all of us in that space.
Right. A large company would prefer a smaller vendor when they want more agility and attention. Like within Infosys, you may not get as much agility and attention, which a smaller vendor would give you. Okay, understood.
Absolutely.
You spoke of how your value proposition to a client are the platforms and accelerators. What are these things? You said studio, platform, product, accelerator. What is the difference between the four of these, and how are they a value proposition for the client?
Absolutely. See, today when the customers are building a modern applications, right, everybody wants to be relevant in the market. Nobody wants to get disrupted. So for the customers to be relevant in the market, they come to us to build a new applications, new platform for them. When you build a platform, there are three things customers are looking for: data, modern application logic, and how the experience layers are built on the top of it. So these three layers define the modernization of the customer's businesses, right? Now, when you look at the experience layer, engineers who are doing the programming cannot look at it from the studio and experience mindset. So you got to have a studio lab and studio experts who can tell how the consumers are using those applications, reacting to those applications. That's very, very important. Now, today's world, AI and experience are very important. So you need to look at every problem at the lens of AI, because AI can solve some complex problem in 2 steps than traditional way of doing it in 8 steps or 10 steps, right? So we marry AI and studio angle to look at any business problem. That's when we can be a value creator, right? So Remember, I told you need versus want. So we need to focus on delivering need, not the want, right? So the AI and Studio helps there. And then
So
you look
Studio
at
is essentially a team of people who specialize more on the design side, would be called a studio.
Absolutely. Yes.
They have deep expertise, and so they can look at ensuring great user experience for whatever is being built.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what they do every day. They know the new tools, technologies. They are expert in UI, UX, and there is a different level of maturity year on that space, and you've got to be deep into it, right? And then when it comes to the application logic layer, that's where the platform accelerator comes into picture, like low code, no code development platform, which can further accelerate the software development lifecycle. So if it takes 6 months, can you do it in 3 months with those application accelerator? And finally, the data structure, like your ability to integrate with the data, organize the data in the systematic manner so that the applications can consume it and deliver the value. And once you set this structure in place, you can hold the customer's heart with you, and they can stay as your IT partner for a long term. They are not going to let you build only one platform, but they will be your platform partner. There will be platform effects, I call it, the multiple platforms they will ask you to build. And then you continue to be a digital engagement partner. It's not an app. There is a difference between application service provider partnership versus platform effect application partner provider, right? So there you stay on a long term building platforms for them, modernizing it and supporting it, than just doing a simple application support for them.
Okay. How is your offering priced? Is it on a man-hour basis, that this is a project which needs 10,000 man-hours, or is it priced on the cost of building this platform is X dollars?
So there are Culinary Digital has a different pricing because it's a ARR business. So
That's
it's
a SaaS
per
business,
user SaaS business. So it's a SaaS pricing. On Fulcrum Digital has a 3 level of pricing. Nowadays, we are doing some projects because of AI on outcome based. So we'll roll out an AI agent and we will link it with the customer's productivity. And based on those productivity and metrics, we have a pricing model built in, right? But that's not a very common one. Very few customers we offer that based on the scenarios. The second one is outcome-based pricing. So they define the project scope, and then there are well-defined goals and acceptance criteria. And if you meet the acceptance criteria, you get X dollars. And otherwise, if you exceed the acceptance criteria, they pay you 5%, 10% additional money to deliver on the project. But if you don't deliver it, they have a penalty clause as well, right? So that's the outcome-based delivery model. So that's a good chunk of business we do inside our pricing. And the another one is when the client defines the scope of the work, we manage the project, build the team. Project is managed and governed by us, but we give the transparency of rate card structure to the client, and client is willing to pay on an Agile and a Scrum basis. Each sprint team takes like 20 people, a project manager, developers, BA, QA. So you build a team, charge them on a T&M basis, but project responsibility is with you. So that's the another third model. So outcome-based, then performance-based totally, and then third is T&M-based project delivery.
Which is a bigger piece of the pie?
Right now I would say outcome based. The very neck to neck is a T&M and outcome, and the percentage of result based and AI agent which delivers the outcome and you get a percentage of that outcome. That percentage is slowly accelerating. I'm hoping that number to grow bigger over the period of time, but that's the last small piece.
Okay. I guess the legacy way of pricing has been the time-based, the T&M approach for this industry.
Yeah, it has evolved. Earlier, it used to be the waterfall model. So many projects used to fail with the fixed price model. Then came the T&M model because on the agility, people started to understand Scrum-based model because that gave the transparency and short-term value creation. You can see it, what's getting built, believe it before you give them more funding. So because of transparency came through Scrum. So people started following more and more TNM model, right? But in TNM also they started demanding that you need to be committed to the outcome of the project, right? So acceptance criteria and those things started to mature.
Okay. So, my question then is that if you are creating an accelerator which shrinks the time by a third, you said instead of 6 months, you can do something in 2 months because you have an accelerator and there is more stuff which can be built without writing code because you've already written the code for it for another client or things like that. So doesn't that reduce your revenue potential?
No, but you do charge them for using your accelerator, right? It's not free, right? So while, if it is taking, say, 1,000 person man days to build a project, right? And out of that, I'm saying that now, instead of 1,000 man days, I'm going to build you in 500 man days. So customer is not paying for me 500 man days, but customer is paying me maybe another 300 man days in a license pricing model over the period of 2 to 3 years. So I'm not getting enough money right away from them. Customer is also happy. They are saving 50% and they are paying me remaining 20%, 30% over the period of next 2 to 3 years because it's a license I have given it to them, right?
Okay.
So their cost of ownership is spread out. They feel that our neck is on the line and we are also having a skin in the game. And that's when we are doing the pricing model like that. So they know that we believe in our accelerator. We will license it. We'll only get paid when the project goes into production. So there are two ways of getting value of accelerator, confidence building to the customer, reduction of the price, and then partnership over the period of time for 3 years.
How much of your revenue is license based?
If you look at the combined companies, I think overall in our group companies, I would say somewhere around 30% will be a license-based pricing model.
Okay. So, which is also like a good indicator to understand that you've invested a lot in creating these platforms. If 30% is a very sizable chunk, so you must
But I'm using my Culinary digital. If you just use Fulcrum digital, I would say 10% to 12% will be licensed business in Fulcrum digital. But if you use Culinary digital in a group company, then the percentage goes higher.
Okay. Now, this business of selling technology services or IT services is like, AI is kind of going to put pressure on the regular selling time and, that pricing by the man days, because now a lot of things would be much faster with AI. A lot of companies might be able to offer products which were being offered as services earlier, because thanks to AI, you can offer a more, like, the reason for a company to go for a service, I feel, is typically because they want something which is very custom built. But thanks to AI, customization is just a few prompts away, right? So wouldn't that like kind of put pressure on the services market?
Absolutely. And so every market changes, brings a mindset change, cultural mindset change. I think that's what we need to adopt before even adopting the AI fabric and LLM and in future quantum and things like that. And few people are still resistant to it, but they will be forced. Some people are leader. They have an advantage. They have adopted it. They have failed. So, but that failure is a maturity for them. So certainly they will, gain benefit out of it. And some are moderate, right? So moderate will still grow, but very conservative growth for them, right? So there are three layers of people I see, and end of the day, what's going to happen is choices are getting created. You can still continue to build your custom AI. You can buy a ready-made AI agent which can solve your silo problems. It's up to you to design your organization structure. Tomorrow you want to build everything silo AI agent, but then you don't have a control on those AI agents. What if those agents become autonomous AI agent? They started to learn about your business faster than you can tell them what your business is all about. Now you have 1,000 AI agents bought by 1,000 different vendors, and they are all autonomous. Now you have created a recipe for disaster. Now
That
you don't have a
doesn't sound
governance
realistic,
model.
to be honest.
It will happen, because what happens is you go to a database vendor, right? Or you ServiceNow or Salesforce. Everyone has their own 100 AI agent. Oh, you want to replace your people? I have an AI agent for it. You want to replace the other department? I have an AI agent. Who do you pick? You want to pick Databricks? You want to pick ServiceNow? You want to pick Salesforce, HubSpot, every vendor. And then you have small vendors also existing ready to deploy the AI agent. What are your choices? And then you have your smart IT department telling, I have my own homegrown AI agents. So who do you listen to?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So then you compete that time of the day. So best thing I feel like the governance framework is equally important. People should, good CEOs and CFOs should create a governance responsible AI framework. Who is developing it? Which product should fit in for what role? And they should build a strategy for it. These things must be homegrown. It's a fabric. You need to design shirts, t-shirt, all internally. These commodity products, you don't need to build internally. There are many vendors. You buy it, use it, release it. When you release it, it's a replaceable AI agent. But if it is a dependable AI agent, you are stuck with them. These things people need to start thinking through. And then there are new ecosystems developing in AI with model control protocols and APIs. So any data and any AI agent can start talking to anything right now. And that is the bigger market, which you will see in next 1 to 2 years. So two things will evolve in next 1 or 2 years. Chaos. To solve that chaos, you need interoperability of the AI agents. Right? And people who are a smart player, they will start to interoperate smartly and put under the governance framework. And then the second area which will emerge is autonomous AI agent. The agents which will learn by itself, mature by itself, and that will surprise you with the outcome. Today, it's not happening, but it's likely to happen. More and more players are maturing their LLMs with a reasoning model, what OpenAI and Gemini and all launched. On the top of reasoning model, the memory models are coming in. The short-term memory, the long-term memories, the episodic memories. On all these memories, different brain senses are going to be added on the top of it. And that means now we can use LLM for more intelligent work.
Okay. I want to zoom in on a couple of things which you spoke of. Model MCP, model control protocol is the full form, sorry?
MCP.
What is MCP? What is model control protocol?
In the days of networking protocol, right? Everybody started to bring routers, hubs, switches. So people start to communicate with each other with TCP/IP protocol, transfer control protocol, right? So then you can connect one device to another device with certain protocol. So data can be exchanged. You can build another hardware products, but all of you have to adhere to certain protocol to communicate with each other, right? That was on the network devices. The same concept is emerging, similar concept, not same, similar concept in different models are there. Every OpenAI has a model, Cloud has a model, and then the different AI agents are getting built on multiple models. So these are different models and AI agents. So they need to follow a model control protocol so that they can have a better handshake with each other, right? Otherwise, you will be running it in a silo format, or you will have a very challenging way to integrate with that model. Then cost of integrating is very high. You have a security risk with that model. But if it is a model control protocol, your securities are validated, your data is protected, you have ease to integrate. So those kind of phenomena is growing. You can call it a model API economy. That is going to become very powerful because there will be hodgepodge of AI agents, hodgepodge of models, and how they communicate with each other is the bigger area to solve.
Okay. So MCP is a protocol for how the information is handed off, security, guardrails, all of those things would be defined within MCP in terms of how AI agents interact with each other.
I would say how AI agents operate internally, that's the protocol, right? And connecting with the database. So every agent has to ingest the data. So ingestion of that data in that AI agent is happening through model control protocol.
And this is a like an industry-wide initiative, like Google and
Absolutely.
Anthropic,
Everybody,
and
everybody.
they're
It's
all
right
working
now
on
most
this together.
popular. Maybe things
Okay.
will change. But as of now, everyone is riding that wave and maturing on this space.
Okay. Interesting. You said that companies have to build a governance framework for using AI agents effectively. They have to proactively build a governance framework instead of randomly choosing which AI agent they want to use. What would a governance framework look like? Like, what do you mean by that?
So, first of all these models which you consume need to be understood where the data is residing and how the data is getting ingested in the AI. It should be within your firewall. If you're running a business and you have a customer data, employee data, you cannot be in a public domain, right? So whichever model you define, you need to govern that, right? Bring it into a secure platform. Like you live in a house, you have a door, you have a lock, you need to make sure it's inside the house, right? That's number one. Number two, in the governance framework, who is using what purpose these LLMs, right? So when you run a company, you have a CEO, CFO, different departments, vice presidents, managers, frontline workers. Based on the roles and the departments, you have given them the access. The similar way, when the AI agents are built, you need to define the protocol for what purpose these AI agents, and it's restricted. Otherwise, if you give a free hand to a frontline worker, can go to the CEO's cabin and pull all the files, which is not required for him to pull the file, but he's an AI agent, right? So, you have just not defined the guardrails. So the AI agent doesn't know that I'm not supposed to go to, I have an access to those files. And if some employee is asking me the information, I'm going to pass it on to them, right? So you got to secure those kind of a content, because LLM is a trained content. AI agent can pick any data and get trained on. So anybody's asking a prompting a question, they will answer anything about your company. What is the CEO salary? How many leaves he has taken? Now, these informations are not supposed to be for those AI agents, right? So you got to define the data structure, and based on that data structures, you need to ingest it. And that's why in the businesses, it's no longer a nomenclature of large language model. It becomes a small language model. So you need to start operating in a small language model to have a better governance framework, right? So one is inside the house. The second is a small language model with a small data sets or predefined data sets with the proper defined data strategy and structure. So that's number one. Number two. Number three is how the data is getting synchronized. How the API connections happening with the data sets together. And then the access protocol, who is using it. And then you need to give the access to agent and super agent. So you can keep defining the term that I have employees and I have a manager and I have a director. So based on that, you can call the agent's name, right? You will see a lot of people calling different names in the organization for AI agent. If it is just doing the worker's job, AI agent, doing a manager's job, director's agent, super agent, manager agent, co-pilot agent, you can keep defining any term you want. But tomorrow there will be term for the CEO agent. There will be co-CEO as a AI agent. There will be Akshay doing podcast as a AI agent. So for every role there will be an AI agent. Just imagine another guy sitting next to you telling you, you need to ask me 3 more questions that will complete the podcast in this direction, right? So you have a co-pilot guiding you. You are still doing the interview, but you are getting intelligence co-piloting through you. So,
Okay, fascinating. How are you preparing for this agentic future at Fulcrum Digital?
Yeah, we have a great team internally. So they helped us launch the platform Rise in 2023. That was 1.0. In 2024, before industry started calling agentic, we were already ahead in the market with 2.0. So what is this 1.0 and 2.0? When we were 1.0, we had less than 10 agents with us. When we are 2.0, we have more than 300-400 agents with us for different industries and operating. As we are moving to 3.0, we are maturing the quality of our AI agent, becoming more autonomous, deeper, solving more complex problem with the customers. And many ecosystems comes together to build the AI agent. So many people think that I will just get the AI agent and my job is done. It doesn't work that way. You need to bring AI agent, you need to create some automations around it, and then you need to configure it, connect the data sets, train it. You need to do some more programming on the top of it. Then finally, that complex AI agent operates. It's not just the plug and play. You bring the AI agent and it starts working. So we are
Give me
now
an example
maturing on
of a
the.
complex AI agent or a complex use case in which an AI agent is deployed.
So complex scenario is say two things, right? One is, let's look at the insurance sales agent, right? So if your insurance sales agent is going and selling insurance policy in India, for an example, like Indian market context, I will give it to you. So if there is a life insurance sales agent selling the life insurance product, there will be multiple agents working together to help him sell the life insurance. The first agent is doing a planning exercise. So it's a planning agent. Help him plan all the banks, profile of the customers, what pitch he has to make, schedule his calendar, all that thing. So there is an agent who is just operating to help him plan the whole calendar for him, whom to talk, whom to drop out from the list, because he must be just running around going and meeting people, but he's wasting his time. And a good AI agent can tell him, this customer doesn't have a budget. You rather go and meet with this guy. It will give you more money. So there is a planning agent, right? Once you are a planning agent, then you have a AI enable AI agent sales. Now he is sitting in front of the customer and he's asking all the questions, and there is a social listening skills. So through that, AI agent is listening your conversation, as well as it has a data pre-built in to highlight to you what you missed communicating to the prospect. So prospect asked the question, but you did not satisfy him with the answer. So that's your co-pilot AI agent selling it next to you. So that's a different agent, right? And it has a multiple tools built into it, right? It's a social listening skills, delivering the content on a real-time basis to the guy, and he has to click, and then it gives some more questions to him. So that requires multiple data source. So, and then finally, next agent is signing up the agent, right? So now you already sold it. You need to complete the paperwork. So you have an AI agent which has got everything built in. Make sure it validates, checks everything that you have got this form signed, KYC done, blah, blah, blah done. Check the PAN card. Everything looks good, ready to sign. The AI agent helps you complete the signing process.
Okay. I remember seeing a couple of product companies building these kind of sales agents for BFSI. What would make a company choose an agent from a product business, a SaaS business, which is specializing only in sales agent, versus an agent from a company like yours, which is like a IT services company, which is now also building custom agents? What is the way in which a buyer thinks about these two options?
Yes, good question. So there are many players who are just building one particular industry silo agent, and they are really good. If you find that vendor in one particular industry and they are only good at doing one agent job, I think they will do a better job than building a generic AI fabric and solving multiple AI agent work, right? We are a farmer. We create a garden of AI agent. We are not just going to create one AI agent. That is called, in our definition, we call it agentic journey. So if customer is buying one agent and calling agentic journey, that's a false statement. Agentic journey is ability to create multiple AI agents for different business problems. So we are a partner and we will be the right partner and a go-to choice. But if the customer's business problem is very clearly well defined, for an example, other day one friend of mine showed his AI agent, which is into restaurant and event management business. So instead of a salesperson making a call and booking the space and giving a quote and all that, or showing the space and giving a quote, there is an AI sales agent who will make a call and book the space, right? And that person only wants to focus in his restaurant business. And I was like telling him, hey, why don't you give your agent for some other industry? He said, no, we just understand this business restaurant. We need to stay focused on it. And I respected the view and the vision for that business. So there are companies who are going to stay in their swim lane in AI agent. So if tomorrow I have to build an AI agent for restaurant event management, I might refer somebody to go and buy that product because that's what they do every day for a living, right? And then with my MCP protocol and API interface, I can still integrate with my agentic journey, right? I don't want to go there, but that's my commodity. I can use it, release it, right? I'm not building my whole differentiating business model on the top of AI agent, but anything which is my core, I would rather like to capitalize on my agentic framework,
Okay. What is an AI agent? I should have probably asked you this earlier on, but I'll tell you my layman understanding, and I want you to help me get a more nuanced understanding. I see like an AI agent as you have like say an OpenAI API or a Gemini API through which you are doing calls, and those calls are either to give back data, for example, a WhatsApp, an agent which is doing a sale of a product through a WhatsApp conversation. So every time the customer is saying something, that goes to the AI, the LLM that you're using, which processes and gives an answer, and the answer goes back to the customer, and that whole journey is happening through this API connection, whatever. Is that what an agent is?
I don't think so. So agent is this. Agent is like you call some employee in your company, you're a marketing department or finance or delivery, and you tell an employee, I want you to complete this task. So the definition of agent is you define the task first, what that task is, right? And then tell the agent, you need to go, you know what you have to do, this is the defined task and I want this outcome. So you have defined the task, you have given the outcome. Agent job is to go and follow those 10 steps, 20 steps, interact with different groups, consolidate all the information, and then you define that engine and it will operate and deliver that task to you. So that is called an agent, right? So defining the task and defining the acceptance criteria is the job of an agent. So it's like you give a task to some employee, and then after 3 days you come back and say, hey, show me the result. The guy has worked on a PowerPoint presentation. He has looked at all your numbers, and you are going for proposal presentation. He has compiled everything for you. He has all the research notes. He tells you with a citation where it has found all the information for you. So it has taken him 3 days. Now with AI agent, in one click, in 5 minutes, you get an answer. But the only difference is now you are not waiting for that employee to follow your task and give you the result. AI agent is giving you, and now you are saying, no, I like this, I don't like that. I like this. So now you change. Now you tell that employee agent, I'm good with it 70%, but you need to change 30%. My style is this. Now they will follow your instructions and then deliver you closer to your expectation. So that's, in my definition, is the AI agentic job, right? Tomorrow the agentic job could be a job of one person, or it could be a job of group of people. Because in marketing, you need somebody to do a content management, somebody to do graphics creation, somebody to do the video creation. So it's a job of 3 people. So one AI agent will find the resources and create those tasks and still deliver to you. So you still created one AI agent, but it is doing a multiple skills in that task,
Okay. There is this deep research feature in most LLMs. That is also like an agent then, where you give it a problem, then it goes out, does a Google search or whatever, and collates the information and then makes a research report on it. That is somewhat of an agent experience.
Yes, you can call that as an agent, because end of the day, and what it does is, because it has a reasoning ability, because now with a lot of reasoning, it start to look at your prompt and start to reason. And based on that reasoning, it starts to go to different sources and cites all those sites. Like, okay, wait for 2 minutes. I'm working on 300 sites for you. It takes time for 300 sites to scan through, analyze it, and then present the data. Certainly, it's a small micro AI agent, if you want to call that as a definition for the agent. Of course, based on your prompting, it can do the job, but I would go one step ahead in the AI agent in today's world, right? Because agents are vertical AI agents or horizontal AI agents. I call it a vertical AI agents, which brings customer productivity, brings revenue to your company. Horizontal AI agents are employees' productivity improvement. If employees takes 10 days to do it, if they can do it in 2 hours, that's a horizontal AI agent, right? And there's one example where financial advisors, they want to send to their clients financial reports. AI agent can create all those reports in 5 minutes and give it to you to submit it to your client. If manually you have to go 10 sources, look at the historical data, look at the template, look at the last queries, what customer asked, customize, prepare the report. It takes them 2 to 3 days, 4 days, whatever, right? Now AI agents are doing it. So I would suggest those are more agentic kind of an approach. Those are employees' productivity. So I'll call them under horizontal AI agent. But the insurance AI agent, which I talked to you about, improving the sales, those are called vertical AI agents. So if you look at the company, you will have a cluster of horizontal AI agent and cluster of vertical AI agents. And that's the agentic journey you are on.
Why is the term vertical and horizontal used for these two? I would have thought vertical means like deeper but narrower specialization, and horizontal would mean general all-purpose, able to do multiple tasks. But from the example you gave me, like preparing reports which you send, a financial advisor sends, sounds like deeper, narrower specialization. But you're calling that horizontal. What is the logic behind that?
My understanding is on a x-axis you put employees, on a y-axis you put revenue. So when your employees are working on a product and services, it's impacting the revenue and basically customers. So on a y-axis you put a customer, on a x-axis you put a employees. So as employees continue to work in a highly productive manner, it's impact your customers' revenue growth and impacts your revenue. So that's why the y-axis of customer gives you a vertical agent, because it's impacting the revenue, and y x-axis is an employees axis, which gives you employees productivity, which you can see. So if you see the growth chart of yours, the business, when you bring more and more AI agents, it should have a hockey stick growing chart. If you are adding more and more AI agents, and if you're declining, then it means your revenue is going down as you add more AI agents. So then it's vertical AI agents is not working well for you.
Why can't you have one agent to rule them all?
That's an interesting twist in the question. So you are heading towards AGI and singularity and the future of agentic journey. So I want you to think like this. There is a pyramid and there are 5 layers of agent, right? So one layer is layer 1, which used to happen a conversational AI agent. Then you have today's AI agent, which is vertical, horizontal, different business function agent. Tomorrow you will have autonomous AI agent. Later on, department is operating autonomously, right? And then you have a CEOs, which is operating autonomously. It's coming. But once we reach that stage, it's an AGI stage, right? I already talked about we are not there where agents can improve on its own and we will accept it, right? It will take a year to 2 years time to mature in that era. It will take another few years for us to mature into departmental autonomous AI agent. For us to accept that marketing department, I can run with 1 marketing person instead of 10, or I can run with 5 marketing person instead of 20, right? So things will change, and you require a co-pilot for marketing department. Then eventually you will have a co-CEOs and CFOs as well, right? So then one person can do. But end of the day, the way I look at it, in this planet we have 8 billion people, and what we need workforce is more than 100 billion. You can't have that many workforce, so you need that many AI agents. But those AI agents have to coexist with the governance framework, with human, to run it. And that's where the economies of scale comes into picture. So you are producing more outcome. You will have tomorrow quantum, more computing power, more outcome. So you need more agents. You don't have that many brains and hands on this planet. So you will create more humanoids. You'll create more AI agents. And we will learn to coexist with them within the governance and guidelines principle. And that's where the future is.
Okay. A slightly different way of asking the same question is this, that why do I need to create an AI agent separately for each use case? Why do I need to create an AI agent for the financial planners who have to send reports to their clients, and a separate agent for a salesperson which will help him plan his day? Can't one agent do both? Because that is how, as a layman, when I'm talking to a Gemini or a Chat GPT, I can ask it about biology, I can ask it about physics, I can ask it about marketing, I can ask it to generate a social media post, and it can do it all. So why is there a need to have independently made agents? Why can't one agent do everything, have that versatility? Because a chatbot seems to have that versatility.
Right. I would like you to understand the plane analogy, right? And at any point of time, there will be about 15,000 planes in the sky, and they're all flying. But just imagine all those airplanes are like AI agents. They can do the same job, but they are not doing the same job. They are flying. One is flying from Newark to Mumbai. One is flying Newark to Paris, Newark to London. It's a different crew. So you need a different crew, but the plane is the same. It's the same large language model. It's the same plane, but in that plane, you need a different crew, different captain. Otherwise, you give the same captain, it will just drive you to the same destination. So as long as you're not changing the plane, so your definition that can I have one AI agent? Yes, it's an LLM. It's a plane. You got a plane. It's an AI agent, but you need a different crew to deliver different outcome. And that's why AI agent difference. So when I told you in the beginning, MCP protocol, data ingestion, that is nothing but putting a different crew inside the plane. And the moment you put the different crew, they have been set with different directions, that your direction is London, not Paris. So they will go to Paris, not London.
Okay. So essentially, an agent which is making reports for financial planners needs to be trained on how to make those reports. They don't need to learn about how to plan the day of a salesperson. And if you try and use one agent for both, chances are that there will be...
It will be chaos, right? Just imagine.
Yeah, absolutely.
The plane which you have sent it for somewhere and it's landing somewhere else, it will be
right.
miserable experience, right?
Okay, understood. Why would agent providers continue to exist? Would there come a day where I can write a prompt and generate an agent? Why would I need to use someone like a Fulcrum Digital to build an agent for me?
Yeah, absolutely. So those days are coming. By the time you reach to those days, the market demands will be something else. And we have to mature that next generation of technology faster than you can adopt, right? That's how we have done it in the last 20 years, because we can see the future faster, we can experiment it faster, and be ready to deliver upon it, right? So when the market is ready for you to build on your own, I think we'll be ready to build the whole business as an AI agent, right? Not as a person, as an AI agent, right? So we'll be able to deliver better value. We'll say that, why are you acquiring companies? I'll give you 2 AI agents to be acquired because I've created a company for you. While you are building just a one silo agent inside the company, right? So the market opportunities will create for us. Like tomorrow, quantum will come into mainstream on a room temperature. It will have a better computing power. It will have an edge computing power, edge AI, quantum AI. So we got to learn those things faster. We got to leverage the space technology, the brain control device technology faster, rather than staying confined into the AI era where you are going to mature faster than us anyways, right? So we got to be the, leapfrog in those areas and be the, guide for you, and that's when you will buy the value from us. Otherwise, all these AI agents are going to become commodity, whether it is everything what you're doing, prompting, smart prompting, RAG, maturity in the RAG. All these models are DeepSeek mixture of experts technology which is coming in. God knows next release which will happen in the world in next few months or few years, people will get shocked. Now they'll say, I don't even have to do this kind of prompting. I can today also you can upload the boarding pass and it knows everything about you just by the boarding pass without ever prompting. It can give you, well, you are flying from here to here. It means you're looking for a car. It means you're looking for a restaurant. It means you're looking for this. You don't even have to ask. Information is already given to you by just boarding pass uploading, right? So just imagine you will sit in a room with your video message for a few minutes and it really knows what you're looking for. You don't even have to prompt it, because language model has matured to a level where it can see your body language, it can hear your voice tone, and you just speak and it does the job for you, right? So that era is also coming. So when other thing comes up, rest of the things becomes commodity, price goes cheaper, then there is no value there. And if we continue to exist in that market, then we will be disrupted. So we got to learn newer things faster, better, cheaper, and then be ready to guide our customers.
Okay. Today, every vendor, small, big, who is in this technology domain, be it like say a website developer, whatever, is now offering AI agents. What is the way to evaluate the quality of an AI agent? Because the ability to build an agent is fairly democratized, right? You just need an API connection to a large language model. So somebody who is sitting in somebody who's running a 5-person website development agency is also offering an AI agent, and you're also offering an AI agent. How do I judge the difference in quality?
Great question. One of the very good question you asked. Because in this mass market, multiple vendors, everybody is in this race. So consistency is the name of the game, right? Because what's happening is your data is not constant. It's changing every day. It's getting updated every day. It's maturing every day. Your AI agent continues to deliver the outcome with the old data sets. Not understanding the new data sets is the first quality check. So as your business continues to get updated, if your AI agent is continuously delivering you an outcome which is accurate, you will trust that agent. The moment they start delivering 2% less data, your trust is going away. And that is the most important aspect for any AI agent, is the consistency of delivering the outcome. If it has to be 100% accurate. Say for an example, if you have an AI agent for invoice to be generated, you don't want to send the invoice to your customer, which is $200, but your AI agent has generated for $175. Will you use it? You will kill it.
But you wouldn't know that this is 98% accurate until you've used it for a couple of months. Before you buy, are there some technical due diligences you can do?
Yes. So AI agent development model doesn't take too long to build it, but to put it into production, to ingest the data and test it takes a longer time. So if anybody just trying to roll it out faster and cheaper are set for failures. So they got to stay back and spend more time in validating and testing it. And once they are 100% sure with all kind of scenarios in data upgrades, changes in agent, then their trust will be high in trusting those agents. Yeah.
So like if you ask your vendor for his testing framework, or how will you test this agent? So that could be a good due diligence to do before you buy an agent. Like the amount of investment a vendor is doing in testing the agent, how mature and sophisticated is the process of testing and validating the agent, is a good indicator on quality.
Absolutely, absolutely. In fact, we were presented with some scenarios in a very commodity market. I'll tell you, where you have OCR readers. Everybody uses it. It's like a lot of PDF files. AI agent can read all the PDF files and give you the results, right? And you can do query on those PDF files. Just imagine, some invoices are in color. Some invoices have handwritten notes. Some invoices have different fonts, different table structure. Not one invoice is in similar format. AI agent has to actually understand in whatever format, whatever color, and then segregates all the data and information so that when you prompt it, you get the right 100% accurate result. But if your AI agent is not programmed correctly, and if tomorrow your invoices are colored with the red color, right, and it misses to read those content, then when you're prompting it, you're not getting the accurate result. So it's also the way it is programmed, configured, and then the testing. If it's not giving the result, you've got to disqualify the agent. In fact, today, I would say that if the companies are building hundreds agent, in my guess, 70% are getting shut down because of failure of meeting the right expectations. They have many of the companies I know, they started agentic AI journey about a year back. But if you ask them how many agents are into production, only few will be into production. Then what happens to rest? They said they have to kill it because it wasn't working the way they wanted it.
Okay. When you say program an agent, what do you mean by that? Like, do you literally write some sort of code? Is there a coding language to program an agent, or is it mostly like prompt engineering?
It's a combination. It's a prompt engineering. It's a Python code. You got to put some, your own machine learning language model on the top of the LLM to deliver the desired outcome, right? Because every task I mentioned to you, if the plane has to fly, plane is the LLM, but you have different types of planes. You have ChatGPT, you have Claude, DeepSeek, Gemini. So depending on which plane you want to fly, depending on the distance and the purpose. But then the crew who comes in, that crew has to be given instructions. At this time, you got to serve the meal. This time. So that has to be written in Python language. So inside that, when you are configuring and building the AI agent, you will use the LLMs and you will consume LLMs, but you will consume it based on your own language model to define the task, which you can call it a microservices, which you will have to write. That for this purpose, this task you have to do, and then it will connect to that specific database. Those connections can also be written into Python. It can be also consumed with some other API protocols, but those are the areas where you need some coding to be done for configuration, customization, for a specific task, automation, because you need to automate some of the tasks before the AI agent understands the work. Because you are receiving invoices from 10 email boxes, but AI agent needs to synchronize all the 10 email boxes, so there has to be some automation script has to be written. So you will write those script and then feed it to AI agent. So it requires few boxes to be coding to be done. It's just not there. That's why many people fail in AI agentic journey. Oh, I got the fabric and I can query anything and get the result. And then they don't get the result. That means that's when they fail in AI agentic journey, because they just got the plane without a crew.
Okay, got it. Interesting. Okay, how are companies pricing AI agents? And from both sides, one would be like, say, pure SaaS companies who's basically just selling an AI agent, versus a company like Fulcrum Digital, which is a services business and is also making custom AI agents. So, that off-the-shelf agent, custom agent, how are these being priced?
So if you look at enterprise customers, the large corporates, right, because they want the platform to be secure, be inside, they have 3 layers of pricing. What data sets we are consuming, for how many users. And so there is a user-based pricing for the department and business objective. So when we give the plane, we define the plane job is to go from here to there, right? And for that purpose, we price the per user pricing. Then we have one-time configuration installation pricing, because we need to bring everything inside their firewall and configure it, run it, test it, deploy it. And then there is a consumption pricing, depending on how many tokens they are using it in their data set structures every day. So because when you use all these LLMs, we got to pay them for using their tokens, right? So there is a token utilization. So there are three ways of pricing when you deal with the enterprise customers. But then when we go to, say, $500 million company, $200 million companies, and they're looking for AI agents, they don't believe in these things. They just tell us very clearly, I have these 2 employees and I want to reduce my cost. I'm paying whatever, $250,000 to these 2 employees, and you save me 50%. So I'll pay you $100K, and don't charge me per user, all that pricing. Just give me a flat per month fee. And if I'm able to save 50% cost of my employee through an AI agent, and your pricing is simple enough, I'm willing to pay you $3,000 per month, or $4,000 per month. I can get you 2 agents, two employees can be replaced with that, and I'm happy. I think in 50K, 100K, I can get my work done from you. Instead of $250,000, I'm saving the money. So they are just looking at remember I told you horizontal AI agents, so we have to justify them, employees' productivity there, and then they buy. Some of the places which I mentioned to you, they want to put the AI agent into production, they want to see the result, and then they want to pay you. So there it can be a transaction-based pricing. So if you are helping them to transact, and then you can charge them on a transaction-based pricing, right? Based on if it has improved the revenue, you can ask them for percentage of the revenue, right? Because now you're helping them grow the business. It could be a small percentage, significant percentage based on what value creation you're doing. So these are the types of pricing works. Enterprise customers different, the small customers different. Because we went with the small customers, all 3-layer pricing, they got confused. They said, this is too much. And then there are some commodity-based pricing also, like, some of the AI agents which I mentioned to you, they are a very small vendor, very siloed. They are very simple price, $300 per month per user, just buy it. So customers are like, okay, this is just $300. I'll just buy this agent. Let me try it out. But that's for a specific task. It's easy to, plug it in and see the result.
So off-the-shelf agents are basically priced like SaaS, like whatever, like $100, $200, $300 a month. You get an agent which is off-the-shelf, not deeply customized, but probably very quick to deploy, and you can see results very fast. And then you spoke of outcome-based pricing, like, say, if your customer service is being handled, so then every ticket resolved is payable, or some number of man hours that you are replacing through AI agents, or like there are these call center alternatives like voice agents which are doing calling. So instead of having a call center with humans, you have these voice agents which are doing calling. So that maybe per call kind of a pricing. So these kind of outcome-based pricing models is mid-market is basically going for this outcome-based pricing models. And for enterprise clients,
you can
it's
call
based
it.
on.
Yes.
Okay.
You defined it very well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You are largely pricing your agents in like outcome-based, or is it more of like the
all
cost
three.
plus?
Right now, it's all going all 3, because there are some large customers. They want a very enterprise pricing, different strategy. There are smaller customers coming. They want to see the value right away, so they're jumping onto it. And there are customers who are not convinced, but they want to go on this path, and they want to be partnered with you. So they are outcome based. So all 3 are going it. Percentage of outcomes are very small, but percentage of enterprise and small agents are high right now.
Okay. What is your moat in this business of delivering AI agents? Because the large language model is common for everybody. Anybody building an AI agent is using the same LLM. The MCP, all of these are very common things available to everyone. So how are you building a moat?
Yeah. So our RISE platform, if you see, it is the best of the breed of LLMs, right? So we consume all the important and relevant LLMs are part of our FD RISE platform. So it's not LLM, one LLM. So based on your business requirement, we will trigger some different LLM to deliver the job, right? Based on some other request, I'll trigger some other LLM to get the job. So we have orchestration engine built inside the Rise, which is seamless based on the business request and the prompt. We trigger it. On the top of it, we have our own LLM built on Python language, which also adds value on the top of LLMs, right? So having that engine which orchestrates, configures, adds value with own LLM, industry-oriented language model, Python written on the top of it, makes us unique in the small language model rather than large language model. So we take the large language model and we configure into a small language model is the benefit of using Rise platform, because then we become powerful LLM for their business, because they don't care about what's happening in the world. They need to care about what's happening inside their world with their customer data, with their employees data, with their invoice data. What's happening in 10 other companies' invoice data, why do they care, right? So we have an ability to configure LLMs with multiple LLMs, which we call it a multi-model LLMs. So multiple LLMs, multi-model LLMs. So you need to have that orchestrator. And many companies have tried to build the orchestrator, not succeeded. And that's where advantage for us comes into picture. So if you have cracked the code, you have ability to build it, ability to continuously consume the next LLM faster in your platform. It means you are able to deliver the good results to your customer. You have the power of that engine.
So if I understand correctly, one moat is orchestration, being able to create a strong orchestration engine, and the second moat is being able to create SLMs, small language models, which give benefit of cost also, or is it just specialization? So one, obviously a small language model is specialized in a narrower domain, but is it also cheaper to use a small language model rather than an LLM?
Yes, a small language model is cheaper, as well as it's more relevant to them. Relevance is more important because then they can trust that model. If LLMs, sometimes too much of information, it can give some vague information, irrelevant information that can confuse the business. So is that information important? Important, but not relevant for their business.
Do you need coders to build AI agents? What kind of workforce do you need to be offering AI agents?
Good one. So when you build a team, you need three players. One is AI business analyst, who is understanding the business requirement very well, right? Remember, I gave you a plain analogy. So you have to define from JFK, New York to Paris. So somebody who knows how to understand that the flight route has been defined from New York to Paris, right? So that's the role of a business analyst, right? To understand the objective of the agent. Remember, I told you the definition of the agent is you have to give tasks to someone. It's not a prompting. It's a sequence of tasks which you're defining, right? So, that AI, that analyst will able to understand that. Then you need a coder who is an AI engineers, Python developers or LLM developers. They need to now write on the top of it automation, configuration, microservices, so that now LLMs are working as an SLM for your environment. And then finally, you need a testing group people, right, who are continuously testing it, vetting it. And once you have these three teams in place and certainly project manager to run it, then your project team is complete to do it.
Okay, fascinating. Do you use AI for testing also?
Of course, yeah.
How?
In software development, earlier there are a lot of AI tools now, including Copilot, our own tools, and Market Offer in GitHub, all these tools and third-party products, where if you are writing a manual script, you can now write automation script. Even using automation, Selenium, and other tool, you can generate, say, 10 use cases in a day. Now with AI tool, you can produce 40 use cases in a day. So your productivity just quadruples by using AI tool for testing, because your ability to produce more number of use cases, test cases are much faster. Earlier it was manual, too much time, too many less test case. Automation tool Selenium improve the productivity. AI tools are further increasing the outcome. So you will able to taste it faster, cheaper, better.
Okay. Okay. Are you also doing any sort of angel investing?
No, not yet. We get pitched by different people. Some things are exciting. We invested in Culinary. We want to focus on one thing. We want to stay focused on Fulcrum Digital. That business is growing very well. 1,500 employees. We want to go to 1,800. Tomorrow we might have 500 AI agents with 1,800 employees. So we are focused on that. If there are any adjacency market in our Culinary business, there is a good opportunity for us to do angel investment. So more like an entrepreneurial fund, and we can fund like 4 or 5 startups. That's an aspiration. Are we doing it? We are not doing it. But if an opportunity
As
presents,
today,
we will
you
do it.
prefer to plow cash back into the business instead of taking cash out
Yeah.
and doing angel
Yeah.
investing.
We are continuously building this AI Rise platform. We are investing big. So all our profit is going pumped into building this AI agent. Otherwise, we feel we'll become irrelevant, right? So, and today we are enjoying it. We are getting so much of attraction in the market. When people look at our Rise platform, they say other competitors are not showing what you are showing. So you are certainly 2 steps ahead of them, right? That's because of our investment. So then they come to us.
How much of Fulcrum Digital equity is with you?
So yeah, majority is with me. My CEO has some percentage, but I'm the majority stakeholder.
Like some ESOPs, other than that, it's yours, basically.
Yes, we have employee ESOPs, a small percentage to my CEO, some ESOPs, and rest of them are majority with me. Yeah.
So how do you, how do you grow from being a small IT services, like we gave an example, like a 5 to 10 member person, you could have stayed there, but today you are at $100 million revenue. What are those mental frameworks because of which you are where you are today?
We all have read the book or heard about it. What got you here will not get you there. It's a mindset. And it took me also quite some time to even get onto that journey, right? It's a human nature. What got you there will let you stay there because your mind wants you to stay there. And that's a human nature. So breaking away from that, your own self nature, that let's not be comfortable, be uncomfortable, and finding that uncomfortable path is the recipe for growth. And it's a discipline. Like you go to a gym, and if you're lifting 20 pounds every day, your body will not show the result. But if you are changing the weights, improving the reps, you did 20 pounds, now you're doing 25, 35 pounds. You did 15 reps, now you're doing 20, 30 reps, you will see changes. So what you are doing is you are confusing your body muscle, you are challenging yourself for more, and you are with the mental discipline of going to the gym every day or going for 4 days in a week. So discipline, making yourself uncomfortable when you get comfortable, and staying relevant, because market always makes you irrelevant, right? So these 3 things, if you keep in your game, whatever game you're playing, and every game has a number of hours, sincerity, hard work, that's given. So you got to have discipline, don't be irrelevant, and always make yourself uncomfortable. The moment you are in comfort zone, you have a recipe for disaster that coming soon.
Give me an example of going out of comfort zone that you personally went through.
So if you are running an account and that customer is just giving you more and more business, and you are happy with that customer's business, but then what you are doing is you are making yourself dependent on one customer or few customers. Okay. If tomorrow something goes wrong with the customers, your business continuity becomes a risk to you, right? So while it's a human nature to enjoy the journey, be comfortable, don't push yourself too hard. Uncomfortable journey is find another 10 customers of that size, find another $20 billion company, and make them as an IT partner for you is a daunting task. And it takes a lot of effort. So do you want to go that route, or do you want to focus on the same customers and go and meet with them and meet 20 other people in the same customer? It's easier way to do. right? So you're comfortable doing it. You know the people. Why do you want to go and meet other 20 customers and build a pipeline? And it's 20 guys will say no to you 100 times, and then you have to break. So and then continuously you have to show something new and fresh, and it's more challenging. So it's an uncomfortable journey, when you want to scale. But then the beautiful thing is now you have a better business continuity plan. You don't have a dependency on one customer. Customer concentration is less. People will look at your business as a much more robust and solid. Your employees will come feel comfortable to work because now you have mitigated the risk. So you got to continuously chase that uncomfortable journey. And then also, you cannot do business always with $20 billion company. You got to find $1 billion company, $500 million company, because if something goes wrong with a large company, you have another set of customers who can take care of you when the recession hits. So you need to make your business recession proof as well. So you can mitigate the risk by different size of customers inside your business. So that's another uncomfortable phase. The salespeople and solutioning guy who are used to selling larger deals are not used to selling smaller deals, right? Small size requires smaller delivery capabilities, and overheads are smaller. If you try to put larger overheads on a smaller deal, then it's not profitable for you. So it's a different game, but you got to start playing that. It's a garden. In a garden, you need all kinds of trees, all kinds of flowers. So when you're building a business, you're building a garden. You're not building just one tree, two tree, and just sitting and watching, waiting for mango season to come in. But what happens once the mango season is over?
Right. Fascinating. Okay. I have this impression that nice guys don't scale their businesses. you need to be willing to be ruthless as a founder to really get to scale. Do you agree with that?
I don't think so.
No.
It's no. Everybody is nice. See, how they come across may not be nice, but intentions are always nice. So what you are seeing is how they presented themselves and how they conducted in that scenario may not be nice. And if they reflect on it and they go back and think, because in that spur of the moment they reacted or they said something, but all these successful business people, they all have a very good intentions. Anybody who has become successful, right?
I feel like somewhere they also understand how to use fear as a way to get the best out of their employees.
Those are wrong tactics. I would suggest it's a maturity model. Some people have matured with inspirational model. Some people, if you read a book of, I don't want to name it, one of the top prominent personality in the world today, they will say smack with your baseball bat and then sit on the negotiation tactic. But that's their art of deal making, right?
You've given away the name.
So and then you tend to negotiate different way, but that's how they have become successful. They have their art of dealing, right? They take tough stand, and when you take a tough stand, art of deal making is much better, right? So many people will believe that no, I can still get the deal done. It's a deal making, in my view, is a break-even point, right? It's a point where deal can be done. If it is tilted more towards you and other more towards them, it's a not fair deal. It's certainly a beneficial deal for one party. That's why people try to negotiate pretty hard, and somebody wins big time, somebody loses big time. I don't like that deal. I'm a fair deal making guy, right? It should be a balancing point, and one should recognize that. One should have an ability to pay and consume, and one should have an ability to ask that right price, right? And if that's there, then it's a long-term sustainable deal. But if it is a twisted deal, it's a short-term deal. Someday, some guy will realize that my hands are tied, and some country will realize somebody has been taking away from this country a lot for a long time. Somebody will rise one day and try to negotiate with the world, right? So things will change. But deal making is an art. Everyone has a different style, and my style is different. I certainly would like people to respect what my product and services are. If there is no respect, there is no deal. And the respect can be only seen by the right price when you want to offer it.
How do you deal with underperforming employees?
It's a new twist to your line of questions. So, because we have promoted loyalty, integrity in the company, so sometimes, not I will say all the time, there are chances that long time, employees or sometimes performance can be compromised because they have been in the company for a long time. Where the new employees, they are on the check, company is demanding more from them, so they will feel that okay, company is expecting more accountability from me, where the other employees have been trusted, and there could be a slack from their side. It's not necessary that all the cases, but in some cases it can happen. The way I have started to categorize now, and we see in our company, is we put them in a magic quadrant of A, B plus, B minus, and C. On a x-axis, we put culture rating. On a y-axis, we put performance rating. So employees are rated 1 to 5. Employees are rated on culture 1 to 5. So if culture employees are 4, maybe performance is 3. You need to coach that employee. The employee will fall from B minus to B plus with a little bit coaching, right? But if the employee culture fitment is 3 and performance is 4, even if you keep coaching them, they will still stay in a B minus category. Mm-hmm. And for us to convert B plus to A is much easier. Means culturally they are aligned with better training, coaching, clarity, motivation, inspirations. They can move from B plus to A faster, where you keep inspiring B minus people who are not culturally aligned with your company. Moving into B plus is a daunting task. Forget even thinking about A. And they would rather stay back in B minus because they are thinking about themselves more than thinking about the customers and the company more, right? And so you got to identify that and build your business model, whether they are the long-term employees, slack in your company, lack of accountability. You got to identify them and just start giving them the feedback. And nowadays, give them continuous feedback. Don't wait for 6 months appraisal. If you don't like it, they're slacking, just give them in 2 weeks. Tell them that, listen, step up, you are failing here. People like to get that feedback from their bosses immediately.
Give me a practical example of judging culture. Like, what do you judge when you're judging someone on culture?
What I was just saying, like sometimes people are self-centered. They're only thinking about themselves. They are like, okay, now I got more portfolio in my hand, and now company has to depend on me. So let me twist the arm, get more advantage for my personal benefit. That means profit will go down. That means customers' delivery can be compromised. That means if power is not given to me, if the title is not given to me, it means in a short term, person is thinking above the company, not company is above the person.
So not a team player, basically.
Not a team player, right?
Right.
Or telling these people something, another people something, transparency is not there, honesty is not there, integrity is not there. So it means they are not culturally aligned. And you can sense it. Some people will come complain to you, hey, what kind of manager this is, like is telling something about this person, about me, that. So, what happened is not happening. Everybody has an interpretation. So everybody tries to interpret their own version and share it with other person. But in reality, something else has happened. So that kind of promotion, if you do, then you are not focused towards the result. You are trying to build your community and the vote inside your team, rather focus on the result than the vote inside the company.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have a board of directors?
Yes, we do. And these
what
are all independent.
Board play for an entrepreneur? Yes. What's the role of the board? How does a board benefit an entrepreneur?
It's like a doctor and a patient, right? So the board is like a doctor, right? You go to the board, you tell that I have this disease, and the board confirms, yes, I agree, this is the disease. Then board tells, okay, what's your plan? So you tell them that these are the medicine I'm going to take. This is my 5 weeks course I'm going to be on. So board is just going to listen to you. So this is a good doctor because they are all running a successful businesses. They all run billion-dollar companies. They know how, so they are the doctors, right? And you go with your problem and you also go with your medicine. because board doesn't have a time for the medicine. They tell you, okay, what's your problem and what's your medicine. Now you have accountability guy. Now every 3 months they're meeting with you. They have a last presentation what you gave them about your problem and then your roadmap. And this time you're going back to them. You refer the last presentation and tell them that this is how I gave you the problem. This is what we did. This is what my improvement plan looks like. Board will say, are you misleading me? You are just not giving the right answer. You didn't work on what you promised. So you are actually declaring your problem and holding somebody else accountable to fix your problem, observe your problem. And sometimes, just knowing that you have told the problem and told that I will work on it, you have created an accountability chart there.
Do you miss not having investors? Because investors bring in accountability. They have genuine skin in the game, in terms of making your business scale up.
Yes. 10 years back, you would have asked the question, I would be like more arrogant and say, absolutely not. Great business model, investment. Today, if you ask me, I'll say absolutely right. We could have been $1 billion company by now. We could have been a $500 million company by now, right? And if I would have got a better financial investor, brought some more discipline inside the company, corrected me in my own way of demanding the way I'm asking or running the business. There is a good science and engineering they bring in on board, which is very powerful. So, because they know how to scale the business, they know how to build the numbers. Only thing I don't like about some of those investors, they don't know how to build the culture. So, at least as long I'm a very great fan of culture. I want to have a good culture, trusting employees, trusting customers. That's why when customers come to our office, they love us, right? They want to come back to us every night. Our retention rate is almost 100%. We don't lose customers. Rarely we lose any customers. So it's all because of culture, right? Some other financial investors, if they don't see profit, they'll check it out. If we don't see profit, we can tolerate them for some time because we feel there is a value coming out from them, right? So there is a difference there.
What was the realizations you had in the last decade? Like you said that you could have been $1 billion business. What were the things, when you reflect, what are those things where you took wrong calls?
We are all human, and sometimes emotions can dominate you in your decision making, right? So when you have investors, your emotions are your financial engineering because they understand the number. They have accountability to the investors. They have to return back to the market the money, what they have invested for. So with those financial engineering pressure, your engineering brain works differently. When you are an entrepreneur, you are more connected with your people, connected with your customers, and you tend to work emotionally, and that's the recipe for
like an emotional decision you took, which was not financially wise.
So, we acquired a company, right, with our own bootstrapping approach, right? And it took a long time to integrate, took a long time to give us a result, return on investment. If it was private equity guys, if they don't see the result in 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, boom, 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 they will make changes. We didn't do that. We took long time to see how the results will come in, right? So, and then if those kind of guys are sitting on the top, they have an art of looking in a deal. So they will immediately come in, tuck in another $50-100 million business with us. And within 2 years, we'll be $200 million company.
Okay.
But in our case, being a self-funded bootstrapping, that level of risk taking is betting everything, and sometimes you don't take a bet like that. But when people are financial engineering guys, they have been taking bet because they follow certain rules, principles of running the business, which is good. One has to learn the art of running the business. So I would suggest if I have to have any founder start the business, I would say before you start, spend 5 PE guys or investors, spend enough time with them and learn the art why they do the business, become their student, and then be the entrepreneur. You will be better entrepreneur than just build your business and then later on interact with them. you would have missed the boat. Like, I was a young guy when I started, nobody taught me all that, right? So I wish I would have learned all these things. I would do a different kind of business today.
Although, I've interviewed lots and lots of founders, including founders who came from a VC/PE background. And I have not always seen that background giving them an unfair advantage in terms of being able to hit scale. It's been a mixed bag, is what I have seen. So, but yeah, for sure, understanding that discipline of an investor is an extremely valuable skill for an entrepreneur to have.
Yeah, and nowadays the landscapes are changing. If you look at the matured market of digital engineering and AI engineering, there are a lot of players and a lot of PE guys. They have board members who are now investing and sitting as a partner who have run the company, who have founded the company. So they have actually brought in the founders on their side to go and scout for the companies and evaluate the company with whom they want to acquire, right? So unlike just the financial background guys who only know how to book the books and how to raise the capital and do not know the strategy of the business or engineering of the business, so now you need the operators on their side. So in last 10 years, I've seen many of the firms have brought in those operators with them, and that has even different level of maturity, right? So even founders feel very comfortable to talk to them, interact with them in different language altogether. So,
are you looking at bringing in PEs now for the next phase of growth, or?
Not yet. Right now, I think for a few years we are set for our own growth very well. So I know it is a slow, good growth. I won't say slow. I think we are beating this year at least we will have one of the fastest growth here, which we haven't seen in the last 4 years.
How much are you expecting to grow this year?
I think it should touch about 35% to 40%. That should. Normally industry this year, a lot of people are talking just sub 20% growth, where we are already hit all the numbers according to 35% this year for half a year.
And this growth is on the back of agentic AI, like agentic AI deployment?
I would contribute some to that. So certainly agentic AI will have a good contribution. And second, I will also give contribution to our loyal customers and the engineering team who are working with them. So customers are feeling more comfortable with our people. So more and more platform modernizations are coming to us because of the trust and the depth of the relationship. If they have a choice to give 2 projects to different partners, I think that's coming to us because of your delivery capability, domain, their likeness towards you. So all that is playing hard, as well as they consider us a thought leader, value partner. They see the knowledge and experience through platforms. So they feel that we are good people to work with.
Okay. I wanted to ask you this question earlier. I forgot. Why did you open delivery centers in Brazil, etc.? Like, why not just focus on India? I'm sure cost-wise, India would be more favorable than Brazil.
Yeah, that's a good one. So, I mentioned to you that we became digital matured company and started delivering more digital projects faster, say 10 years back, right? And when you are working on a digital engineering project, it requires a lot of customer interaction. So customer has to tell you the requirements, see some of the screens and debate with you. And it requires a time zone to collaborate that, right? And when you're developing also, they want a constant feedback on your development process in the beginning phases, right? And if you look at the East Coast, we are in New York and we are in Pune and Mumbai. So the time zone difference, we hardly get 2-3 hours of overlap of communication. And that 2-3 overlap communication is not adequate enough to communicate with the client, because clients are also busy. Morning time, they're busy. They may not be available for you. So if they are not, and then you need their time after 11 o'clock, India is now sleeping, right? So in old days, the model was different. You define the requirement, give it to Indian developers, and they will build it and give it to you. Then your communication was not required that much, It was waterfall. Now it's agile. It's a digital project, So more communication required. And then Brazil, Argentina gives us the same time zone. So developers, studio guys, project managers, architects are in the same time zone. So now we are not paying them the US rate, maybe 50% cheaper than US rate, or maybe at least 70% of the US rate, but you are having the people in the same time zone to interact with. And then, so they come as a part of our US delivery engine, and then India delivery engine can collaborate with our Latin development team and get all the knowledge base and deliver it.
How do you crack enterprise sales?
A lot of businesses come through references. So one CIO or president moves from one location to another, and they have worked with us for 4 or 5 years. They have seen our work, and they are at the top level at new place, and it's easy for us to enter through the reference-based approach. So that's one angle. The second angle is go to the big customers, and you have innovative products like Rise and AI Agent. And when you show those, or Fulcrum 1 earlier days, low-code, no-code platform, they feel that we are the smart value provider. They don't have their current provider providing that. And as a differentiating company, we are able to open the door, right? So you've got to open the door, but opening the door is not the enterprise sales. Once you open the door, you need to map the top level executives as well. And you have an ability to interact with them and continuously build the image of your company that you are not a value provider to only manager level or director level or procurement level. You can be a value provider to the CIO, and not only CIO, the business heads, the presidents, and the CEOs. And if you have an ability in your company to scale the conversation at all levels in the client side, now you're becoming an enterprise customer. It means now you have an ability to chat with them, and those customers are very, very seasoned guys. If they meet with you, they will have 5 minutes conversation, and they'll pretty much know you are bullshitting to them, or you're really understanding their domain, understanding the pain point, and you truly stand as a good partner, right? But if you have an ability to do that, I think you got a recipe for enterprise sales. And then you need to scale that business model in your company, because only few people cannot do that job. You need to have the whole engine, sales and client management engine. They have an ability to talk at multiple levels and speak different language at different levels. Then you can do enterprise sales, because one size does not fit all.
How do you build these skills or these kind of people? Do they start as like people who were developers on a project, and then they are identified to have good communication skills, and then they go into more client-facing kind of a role? Is that how it happens? Or you hire people for communication skills and put them directly into client-facing roles? Or
Well, because we have been in the business for quite some time, so we have done both. We have nurtured good amount of people internally. If you look at our CEO, he used to be project manager and delivery manager, right, when he was hired. And then he became client service manager. Then he became director of client services, vice president. Then he became a CEO of the company. But his competency has been very good with the client interactions, understanding what client wants, building the relationship. And today he's the CEO, right? So people have been homegrown like that. There are a lot of engagement directors we hire from some of the big companies you named. There are so many employees in our company who have come from many big companies. They still work with us. And they are the acquired skills. They have managed the art of dealing on behalf of those companies, because they have been dealing with larger deal size. So they knew how to handle. So we have done both homegrown and acquired the experienced people, and then they collaborated together. So with the acquired skills, we brought in the market knowledge. With the homegrown team, we continuously build the confidence. So I think the cycle has gone both ways for us.
And engagement manager is typically someone who's doing both service delivery and farming for new deals.
It could be three skills. Three types of people can be engagement manager. One, who comes from a delivery management background. In fact, I have found some guys who are a technical guy who wants to be also a client management guy, which is rare, but we do have some examples like that. Common is delivery managers becoming engagement manager. But then we had a sales guys also became a very strong engagement managers. So they were hunters earlier. Now they have become strong farmers because they had inclination to learn the domain, learn the technology, and they have also become a very good engagement managers, and they have become directors, also engagement directors, right? So all three comes into picture. The percentage for technical becoming that is very less, but delivery background very high, and sometimes sales guys becoming a good engagement manager. So that percentage is also high.
An engagement manager would essentially talk to the clients, get their feedback, pass on feedback to the team, and also ask clients that, can you introduce me to people in like your peers and people in other functions within the company as a way to get more business. Like that's what an engagement manager would do typically.
It's a simple metrics in our company culture because we have two metrics for that: retain existing business and add existing new business. So retaining existing also is a KPI for manager because they have to retain the revenue. It means they have to make sure what has been promised is getting delivered. There is a risk mitigation plan. If somebody is leaving, there is a backup plan to fill up so that customer does not get pinched. So there is a good amount of effort required to even retain the revenue and maintain the quality and standard, right? That's why customers come to us, because we give a lot of importance to that in our KPI and measurement there. And then existing new. So you have an ability to plant ideas, debate with the customer, show them multiple paths. If customer feels that if I sit with your engagement manager, I get 5 ideas. I sit with some other engagement managers, they say the guy, I just run away because he doesn't talk value, so I would rather have a knowledgeable engagement manager where I sit. I'm not able to think through, but the 10 ideas comes to me that why I'm doing it this way. I have other paths to do it, or there are better ways to optimize my cost. And this guy is helping me optimize the cost. And because I optimize the cost, I'll give more business to him because I save the money. So I'll give more budget to him. So his job is to bring existing new revenue. So that's the KPI. And then we have a third KPI, which is a net new revenue, which is for the hunters. So hunters are just gone to get new logos. So that's a different bucket altogether.
Okay, fascinating. Okay, I have taken enough of your time. I want to thank you for being so generous with your time. I truly enjoyed the conversation. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Rajesh.
No, actually, you covered variety of topics you went deep with AI agentic journey to the PE side, to the entrepreneurial side. So I think you extracted good amount of perspective from me. So I thoroughly enjoyed the conversation, and I hope the audience who are on this journey can find some meaningful content from here.